Okay, so this is just for me to know what actually is your expected outcome. Okay, so we have our first response, which is from Azam Selangor. Hi Azam. So a glimpse of 4 flat. I think for your FYP, it could be easy to get an A, right? For your FYP, as long as, of course, you do your methodology properly, you discuss your results properly. That, okay. The next one. So Iman, hi Iman. So I hope you can explain to us how to propose a topic in details. Okay, noted. We also have I also have a few slides regarding on the titles and also the keywords that you can use for your proposals. So Syed from Selangor also, hi Syed, pass with flying colours. Okay, of course, all of us want that. And also, saya pun nak you pass with flying colours. Okay. Syazwan, Sungai Petani, hi Syazwan. Ace in all subjects for last semester. Okay, noted. Oh, so this is your last semester. Oh, okay, noted. Ain, hi Ain, Terengganu. Get to know more about how to write my FYP. Thank you, Doctor. Okay, hopefully, if you have any question later on, just ask, okay? And Nurul Azrin from Kelantan, writing FYP report excellently. Of course, hopefully by doing, if you can do your literature review properly, hopefully you can write your FYP report excellently. And then Aiman from Kedah, hi Aiman, hopefully lepas webinar ni tahu and clear about FYP. Hi Doctor, hi. So okay, so everyone is just, so from this response, what I get is, the students, all of you want to know how to write a FYP report properly and you can deliver your FYP properly. So I'll just stop our ice-breaking session up to this, okay? But if you want to keep on sharing, just keep on sharing, okay? Because we actually have time limit, yeah? Okay. Okay, so by the end of this session, so it is expected for you to be able to develop your own research keywords for literature review search and also to write your own literature outline. Okay, so in your FYP report, literature review is in your second chapter, right? So, the second outcome of this session is hopefully that you can at least start to write your literature review outline. Okay, so based on the literature sources of your research topics lah. Okay. Okay, so to begin, I will begin with a little bit of introduction, and then we can see how to search for literature review, and also followed by how to write a good literature review, and lastly, we will go to conclusions, and maybe we will take a look into a little bit into what kind of questions that you have, okay, in terms of writing your FYP report. Okay. Okay, so for introduction, literature review is a comprehensive summary of previous research topic. So what does it mean by comprehensive summary? So kalau in Malay words-nya comprehensive, usually we mention about menyeluruh. Okay, so we are doing, so kita actually daripada banyak-banyak sources yang kita baca tu, so we are actually doing satu ringkasan tapi menyeluruh tentang apa yang kita dah baca sebelum ni. Okay, so the first step is so for actually for example, like you have just been given a title. Okay, so how should you start your literature review based on that? Okay, so actually it should include every aspect of your research. Okay, so for example, like I mentioned just now, you already been given your title, right? And of course, when you only have your title, you don't have anything yet. So what should you do? How should you start? Okay, so let's take a look into our first topic, which is how to search for literature review. So in this topic, I divide our discussions to three subtopic, which is how to decide the keywords or the topics for your search, and also which sources that you can use. Okay, and I provide a little bit of additional information at the end. Okay, sekali lagi, kalau ada apa-apa soalan, just shout out. Okay, jangan malu-malu. Saya tak makan orang, saya makan nasi. Okay. Okay, so sebagai contoh, so this is an example of my master project, master research project. Okay, numerical and graphical descriptive technique for inherent safety assessment in petrochemical industry. So this is the title that I've been given by my supervisor that time. Okay, so now what should we do? Because for my supervisor, she expect me to do everything by myself. Okay, she just give me the topics, the title, and I should propose what kind of objective and scopes that I want to do. But usually the objective and scopes for your level, for undergrads, undergraduates, usually the supervisor will help you lah in terms of identifying what are your objective and scopes. Okay, so now we have our topics, right? Okay, so it's best that if you also have your topic. Okay, so here you can see that I color coded my topics. Okay, so the purple one is actually my broad keywords. So petrochemical industry. So for example, if you are given an industry or an area, a field, that can be identified as your broad keywords. So first of all, you can find out what is petrochemical industry. What processes are included under the petrochemical industry? And let's say that now your keyword also have, your title also have the keywords of safety, right? So how many accidents are involved under petrochemical industry? So, okay, so this is my topic actually, okay, because I'm a process safety person, okay, so this, your topic might differ, okay, but the concept, not the concept, the way that you write the title can be similar. Okay, so you first of all you can start with your broad keywords, your petrochemical industry, for example. So you can try to Google, find out what is petrochemical industry, what are the process involved, is there any accidents involved in petrochemical industry? Okay, so that is your first step. Okay, and then for your second step, okay, what you can do is relate your broad keywords with your main topic. Okay, so for this title, for my title, the main topic for my research is inherent safety assessment. Okay, inherent safety assessment, safety, accidents, that is the main topic of my research. Okay, so you can find out what kind of hazard that exists in the petrochemical industry, how many accident, ada safety measure tak, ada orang meninggal ke, orang cedera ke, lepas tu what kind of accident prevention has been implemented. Okay, so for me, I focus on inherent safety assessment. So meaning that I have to find out what is inherent safety assessment, what kind of assessment methods that are available. Okay, so that is the second step that you can take. For the third step, is actually the specifics of your main topic. So my specifics is on the numerical and graphical descriptive technique. Okay, so for here, I have to find out what are the numerical inherent safety assessment available. What are the graphical inherent safety assessment available? So that is my specifics. Okay. But okay, if it is like this, it will take us too long to complete our literature review, right? Because there are millions of resources and there are millions of items. For example, in terms of accidents prevention pun dah ada banyak dah. So kalau macam ni bila kita nak grad kan? Okay, so one thing that we could do is, okay, so this is the functions of your objective and also your scopes. So your objectives and your scopes actually minimize the area of your search. Okay, so for example, this is my objective. Okay, this is for my master research project. So my objective is to develop, instead of finding about accidents, I want to develop an inherent safety assessment technique. Okay, for research and development stage, R&D stage. Okay, because in design stage, there are many stages, right? There are the R&D stage, we have preliminary engineering design stage, basics engineering design stage, detail engineering design stage. So kalau kita include semua, bila you nak grad kan? So we need to limit our work. Okay, so that is the function of your objective and your scopes. It is actually to help you to limit what kind of literature review that you should include in your FYP report. Okay, and further, so this is my scopes, okay, scopes of research. So I further put on some boundary. Saya kecilkan lagi, saya limitkan lagi saya punya research tu. Okay, contohnya macam saya nak review current inherent safety assessment methods je. Okay, so the ones that are already exist. Okay, and then these inherent safety techniques are focusing, saya nak fokus on numerical je contohnya. Okay, so for numerical ni, apa lagi? What kind of parameter that you want to focus? So for me, I just want to focus on chemicals, okay, and then operational data. So this can actually further help you to bound your literature review so that tak payahlah you sampai nak kena tengok juta-juta punya resources. Okay? So, and then bila you dah ada semua tu, then you can decide your own search keywords. Okay? So for example, right, for me, I have petrochemical industry just now. So for this one, I try to find out what are the parameters being used in the petrochemical industry. So for example, untuk safety, under petrochemical industry, kita ada flammability, explosiveness, toxicity, and then they said that temperature and pressure also plays a role in the safety measures of the industry. Okay, and then if I want to do inherent safety assessment, I have to find out how inherent safety can contribute to accident prevention. So it's some kind of like that. Okay, so but the keywords, okay, so ni ada red box kat sini. Okay, keywords ni it's not definite, dia tak tetap. Okay, maybe when you are in the first week of your research, you have like for example 5 keywords. Okay, so you use that 5 keywords to try to understand your research, understand what are the importance of your research and so on. Okay, and then bila you masuk minggu kedua atau minggu ketiga of your research, the keywords tu maybe you akan tukar. Contohnya for me, instead of petrochemical industry, I go further into MMA. Okay, methacrylate punya production. Okay, so because when you have start to understand your projects, you know what you want to focus on. So your keywords might change. Okay, and of course lah, bila you dah ada you punya objective, scopes, and even when you dah decide you punya methodology, your keywords of search can be changed. Okay, so for literature review kan, it's not like bila you dah siap proposal atau you dah proposal defend, you can stop your literature review. No, it's not like that. Actually, bila you dah write your dissertations, baru you can stop your literature review because in the academics, okay, the journals are always updated. Okay, so sekarang kita dekat now we are actually in October 2022, right? So the journals are too much, okay? The updates on the knowledge are too fast, okay? Actually, if you want to publish a paper right now, your paper actually will be noted as being published in the year 2023 sebab dah banyak sangat dah paper. So you will need to keep on updating your resources, okay? So that bila you keep on updating your resources, barulah you punya research tu up to date. Okay, up to date to the current situation of your research field lah. Contohnya kalau for me safety, for some of you it might be in terms of experimental punya ke. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you can share kalau if some of you already have your title, okay, you can share with me in the menti.com like just now. Okay, and let's take a moment to see how we can decide the keywords. Okay, let's just do a little bit of hands-on. Okay, maybe I can help you to start how to begin your first literature review search. So go to menti.com and insert the code 39228678 and just give me the title of your research if you already have them. If not, kalau tak ada, just give me anything. Okay, so that we can try to see how we can do the first step of literature review search based on your title. Okay, so let me go to the menti.com first. Okay. Sekejap Oh, nice. Dah ada dah. Sekejap, mana? I always forgot how to use menti.com. Okay, so ada a few yang dah share. Extraction of Terminalia catapa leaves. Okay, so for this one, okay, hopefully you can see a moderator kalau macam tak nampak ke tiba-tiba I unshare screen bagi tahu Okay, so for this one, what first thing first you can do is you can try to search what is extraction. Okay, what kind of extraction methods exist. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, kita ada macam liquid extraction. Yang tu, that one is the one of the famous one lah, liquid extraction. So you can try to find out what are the extraction methods exist, and then you can also find out ada tak orang lain yang buat extraction of Terminalia catapa leaves ni? Microalgae. So similarly, so for bioplastics, what kind of methods that are being used to produce? I assume this one is to produce bioplastic from microalgae, and maybe you can try to find out what are the benefits of bioplastic from microalgae. So the benefit is important, so that when you are doing your discussions, you can support the importance of your work with benefits mentioned in the journals. Okay, and then you can find out what is microalgae. You can also try to find out is the optimum operating condition to produce bioplastic from microalgae, or you can also try to find out optimum conditions for microalgae. Okay, so for the next one is acetic acid production. Okay, so for acetic acid production, of course, you can try to find out raw materials of acetic acid production, operating conditions of acetic acid productions. Okay, apa lagi? Acetic acid productions. So kalau macam previously the design projects for my students is actually on acetic acid production from bio-based raw materials. Okay, so you can also find out is there any bio-based materials involved. Contoh lah. Okay. And then extraction of Mahkota Dewa fruit, similar to the extraction of Terminalia catapa leaves. You can try to find out what are the extraction method. Okay, and then you can also search Mahkota Dewa fruit. Maybe you need to put the scientific names also, because the journals are usually use scientific terms. Okay, try to find out what are the available or the existing research on Mahkota Dewa fruit. So that can be your first step. So oil extraction from spent coffee grounds using hexane at different extraction time. Okay, so see from this one, the keywords that you can use is oil extraction. So that is the first one that you can try to see. Okay, and then you can also try to include the keywords as spent coffee grounds. Okay, and then add another words, spent coffee grounds, and then hexane. Okay, So this one can also similarly like the one that the extraction of macrotarewa fruit, you can also put extraction methods involved. Okay. So bioplastic starch base. So kalau bioplastic starch is similar to this one to the bioplastic from microalgae. So you can see what are the optimum conditions to produce, optimum conditions for bioplastic production, what are the methods available for bioplastic productions. Okay. Self-heating pack for food. Oh, nice. So for this one, you can just use self-heating pack. Okay, just type in at first for food. Okay, maybe it can also not be for food. It can be for either items. For example, self-heating pack for warming the body ke. Okay, if you cannot find the one in food, because sometimes in the beginning it is better if we can go broad. Okay, before we go to specifics. Heterogeneous K/OP case catalyst for biodiesel production. So the first one is the first keyword that you can use is catalyst for biodiesel productions or biodiesel productions. And then you can find out if there is any research that use heterogeneous K/OPK as catalyst aside from biodiesel production. Okay. And then extract of stingless bee honey at different concentrations in making hydrogel wound dressing. So you can also, one of your keywords can be hydrogel wound dressing, okay? Extraction of stingless bee honey, okay? Optimum conditions of um, stingless bee honey processing, okay, for example. And then process control. So this one is a bit general, but I think the first one that you can try to find out is what kind of process control aspects that you are referring to. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on PIC? Are you focusing on an equipment? Or are you actually focusing on the whole process control of the process PNID? Okay. Algae bioplastic, similar. Okay. Biochar from coconut shell. So for this one, you can identify what is, you can use the keywords biochar or methods of extracting or producing biochar from coconut shell. Okay. And then oil extraction, or this one similar. Similar to this one, it's just that you can change the keywords to methanol. So this one is hexane. This one is methanol, right? So you can try to find out what is the extraction methods. Okay. And another keywords is SCG. Okay. Optimum conditions of SCG extraction. XCG or oil extraction. Okay, for example. So this one is also similar. Extraction methods. Okay. You can also insert the scientific names for this neem plant. Okay, to find out more. And I think you can expect that you can find out up to hundreds of thousands. Okay. Black soldier fly organic fertilizer. So what the first keyword that you can use is organic fertilizer. Try to find out, is there any research involving organic fertilizer? And then you can make it more specific to black soldier fly. Maybe you can go more specific. What are the methods being used? What are the optimum conditions? Okay. And then evaluation of aluminium oxide particles properties in a fluidized bed reactor with downward airflow. So first thing first, the properties of aluminium oxide particles in a fluidized bed reactor. You can also try to find out that. Kalau keywords tu panjang sangat, you can try to reduce it a bit by, macam contohnya, insert optimum properties or optimal conditions in a fluidized bed reactor ke, okay, ataupun you boleh find out what are the just tulis properties of aluminium oxide particles, macam tu je, itu pun okay for the first step. Okay. Okay, so this one, safety and risk assessment of the distillation column in producing methanol. This one is my expertise. Okay, so the first keyword that you can do is safety and risk assessment. Okay, that is your general one. So you can go specifics into a risk assessment, and then you boleh letak macam semicolon tu. distillation column. Okay, ataupun risk assessment, methanol production. Okay. And then aluminium oxide particle properties in a fluid aspect reactor. Okay, ni similar, ni macam similar. Okay, so you can include aluminium oxide particles, maybe double semicolon properties. Okay, fluid aspect reactor. Because for this one, I think you will first need to understand what is the operating conditions and operating process of the fluid aspect reactor itself. Okay. And then catalyst for biodiesel production, similar to the one before. Find out what is biodiesel production, what are the catalysts being used for biodiesel productions, and is there any work that use heterogeneous Na/OPKS catalyst. Okay. Extraction of moringa leaf, similar to the one that is in the beginning. Find out what are the extraction methods, and you can put moringa leaves, or if you have the scientific names, you can also put it into your search engine. Okay. So this one is similar like before, production of bioplastic from microalgae. You can find out what are the methods being used, production methods of bioplastic, production methods of bioplastic from microalgae, optimum conditions of bioplastic productions. Okay. And then biochar from coconut shell, similar to the one previously. You can find out what are the methods. Okay. So, and then this one, the extraction of moringa leaves, or this one is similar, right? Okay. So, from all of these keywords, the first step is what you can do, you can try to just put, for me, I'll just put the titles of my research into the search engine. So that is the first step. Because currently we don't have anything, right? We just have our title. Okay. Okay, so I think I've gone through every submissions here. Okay. So, but never mind, if you still have any questions at the end of the sessions, you can just ask me. Okay. Okay, so thank you for your sharing for our first activity. Okay. So now you know your keywords. Okay, let's say that you have your keywords tadi apa macam extraction methods, moringa leaves. Okay, so that is one of your keywords. So you can use these sources, okay, to find out what are the research or the works that have been done based on these keywords. Okay, I assume you already know about your university's library punya catalog. Okay, I'm not sure what are UiTM using. For UTP, we are using Open Athens. Okay, so there we got access to more paid punya sources. Okay, sebab banyak index ataupun sources of journals ni kita kena bayar. So kalau you need to refer to your university library on what kind of catalog that you have. Okay, so the free one of course Google Scholar lah. Okay. But dia tak limit to only journal papers. You can also try to see annual reports daripada company, because I believe that there's some company that focus on doing extractions and they have their annual reports. Maybe you can also try to look into that. Okay. News articles, books, book chapters. Okay. Try to see various kind of sources. Do not limit it only to journals. Okay, because journals, you can use it if you want to find out what are the methods that they are using, and so on. But sometimes when you need more information, for example, for me, right, I need the accident data, accident statistics. So we cannot find them in the journal. So I have to find out in the accident reports. Okay, websites, contohnya macam kalau negara kita ada DOSH atau NIOSH, website macam tu pun okay. Okay, to get your informations. So one of the famous questions, can we use Wikipedia? What do you think? Anyone want to try to answer? Can we use Wikipedia? Okay, segan Okay, actually we can use Wikipedia, tapi do not include that in your reference. you can use Wikipedia and try to find out what are the references that are being put inside the Wikipedia, okay, and go to that references, okay. Because actually Wikipedia is not a reliable source of reference, okay, but we can use it as our jumping stone, okay, to go to the resources or the references that are more reliable, okay. Okay, so kalau UiTM, I think UiTM ada ni Web of Science. Okay, so these are the examples of the search engine. So this one is for Web of Science. WOS ataupun ada orang akan sebut ISI. Okay, so for this one, you need to pay to get access to this. Okay, usually university already pay for you, so just use them. Okay, include macam biasalah, include the topics, what are your keywords. Okay, so here is your keywords. Okay, and then we have Scopus. Scopus actually it's free. Okay, you can try to find out the papers, okay, the journals, but these sites wouldn't allow you to download the paper usually. It will redirect you to another website to download the paper. And sometimes when we are being redirected to the website, our university are not included into our catalog, right? So we cannot access them. But we can use this to try to search what are the available papers, okay? And next one is Science Direct. For me, I prefer to use Science Direct. Why? Because when we are inserting the keywords, okay, author name and so on, and then we search, Science Direct provide the papers on site, so you can directly download the papers. So it is much more easier actually compared to a Scopus. Okay, but the downside is it only provide papers under its own publication. So that Science Direct is under Elsevier. So let's say that your paper is under American Chemical Society, ACS, so it might not be included in here lah. So that's why you will need a WOS or a Scopus. Okay. And then we have Google Scholar. Okay, so Google Scholar I think is pretty simple, right? So let's try to search. Okay, so for this one, I will just show you a few examples. Okay. Okay, so let's say this is UTP's journal catalog. Okay, so here we have Science Direct, we have Scopus, okay, and we also have a Web of Science. Okay, so sometimes they need us to release some security here and there. And then another one, while they are loading, let's try to also use Google Scholar. Okay, so Google Scholar actually they have for me the biggest database is actually Google Scholar because they have everything. They have papers, they have reports, they have a thesis, books that might not be found in the other search engine. Okay, so for example, I just put inherent safety assessment. Okay, so here there are so many articles or papers about inherent safety assessment. Okay, so you can find out on this. So let's just open one. Okay, so for copyright purposes, let me just open my own paper. Okay. Okay, so now you can see that I click this link from Google Scholar, right? But it redirects me to Science Direct. Okay, so here you can, if your I think your university already subscribed to Science Direct, so you can just view the PDF, okay, or you can download it. Okay, so they are so the in this search engine, you can also see what are the recommended articles based on these articles. You can also see what are the references being used. Okay, so these are the references being used in this paper. Okay. So for Google Scholar, it is pretty simple. Okay, so it actually similar. So this is Web of Science. Okay, it is also similar to the Web of Science, in which you can just you need to type a topic lah. So for this one, title, author, publication source. So you can input quite a number of sources. Okay, so another thing, if you don't have the title, usually every paper is given the DOI, digital object identifier. So the digital object identifier is in terms of numbers. Okay, so you can also input these numbers to Google. Okay, so for example, right? Okay, so this is my paper. So let's say this is the DOI of my paper. Okay, so let's say that you don't know what are the paper titles. You can also use this DOI, okay, to find out um, uh, uh, where is the paper. Okay, what are the titles of the paper. Okay, so and then it will directs you to the home site of the paper. Okay. And then we have Scopus. So for Scopus, again, let me just use my my paper, okay, to prevent any copyright infringement. Okay. So let's say, okay, this is one of my paper. Okay. So when you put your search, for example, let's say just now I put the author name, right? I choose the author name and I put what are the author name. Okay, sometimes you can get this kind of you will be led to this kind of page. Okay, so tapi bila page macam ni, dia tak comprehensive. So for this one, dia just tunjuk one of my papers. Okay, so let's say if you want to know what are other papers that are being written, that have been written by that author, okay, you can just click, for example, let me just click mine, okay. Let's say I want to know what papers has Dr. Syaza written, okay, can just click and then you can find out. So there are 19 documents, okay. So these are the papers that are being written or involved by Dr. Syaza. Okay, so wait here you can see that, oh, I want to read about this paper, for example. So you can click either show abstract or view at publisher. So if you click view at publisher, it will brings you to another page lah. Okay, so like this, you can just download it. Okay. Okay, so that is Science Direct, Scopus, WOS, and also Google Scholar. And I want to share you about another. This one is I just recently got information about it. So you can try to go to connectedpapers.com. Okay. So kalau pergi dekat connectedpapers.com ni kan, actually you boleh tahu apa lagi paper yang relate to the one paper that you found. Okay, so for example, right, I want to find out about inherent safety. Oh tak lah, kita cari pasal extraction lah. So for example, extraction kan. Extraction of apa yang tadi? Moringa leaf Try je. Okay. Okay, so dia ada banyak. The use of response surface method to optimize the ultrasound assisted extraction of moringa leaves. So dia banyak paper kat sini. Okay, so let's say katakanlah saya fikir, oh, this first paper is really similar to my work. I want to know apa lagi work yang relates to this paper. So you can just click. Okay. Actually, this one is free. You can just log in. Okay. Create an account. So, but of course lah, kalau free punya kita ada limitation sikit lah. Tak banyak lah function yang kita boleh guna. Tapi I think for this one, it is very good because you get to know. Okay, so you can see, right, there is a graph here. So let me try to make it bigger. Okay, so you can see, let's say kalau you klik dekat satu contoh ni, you boleh tengok paper ni dia relate dengan paper mana. So this paper relates to what paper? So these are many paper. This paper relate to which paper? This paper relate to which paper? So this purple one is actually the one that we clicked just now. So we can see that for this paper, it actually relates to quite a number of paper. Okay, and then this one relate to this one, to this one, to this one. So you can use this to reduce your time on searching the papers. Okay, you can just find out what are the papers that is related to the work that you are interested in. Okay, so these are another tips lah that I just found out, just to share with you for more informations. Okay, okay. So, is there, before I proceed, is there any questions? Maybe if there's a questions in the chat room, the moderator can read it out loud to me. If not, we can start. Can we proceed? I risau buka apa because I takut I'm going too fast. Okay. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so how to write good LR. Okay, so for now, you already have your keywords. You have tried to search papers based on your keywords. So now what should you do? Okay, so for the first step, okay, when you have your journal paper, of course lah kan, waktu kita search tu, macam I tunjuk tadi, kita ada banyak sangat paper. So okay, bila kita nampak, macam I tadi, kita nampak inherent safety, so I'll just download everything. Okay, so first thing first, what you can do is initial scan through. Okay, so what you can do is, you can open the paper. Okay, first thing first, baca dulu abstract, objective of the work and conclusion. Usually dalam abstract dia dah masukkan semua. Dia dah masukkan summary, objektif dia apa dia punya result, apa dia punya conclusion. Katakanlah the objective of the work is according to what you are looking for. So then you can proceed to read it in detail. Okay, so when you read it in detail, so we go to the second step, which is detailed reading. Okay, you can identify lah what are the method being used, apa feedstock dia guna. Contoh lah, maybe you want to use liquid extraction. Okay, so for paper A, dia liquid extraction for moringa leaves, which is very similar to you. Okay, so you can continue reading it. Apa dia guna, apa chemicals dia guna, apa results dia. And when you read it, you can identify how does this work differ with your work. Okay, you tengok maybe because your level are only undergrads level. So usually these papers considers many more things or parameters than you. Okay, so you can try to find out what are the differences between their work and your work. Okay, so because these differences can be used when you want to develop your research gap. Okay, so that research gap then can be used to write your problem statement in chapter 1. Okay, okay, so I repeat. Okay, so just now I said about initial scan through. Okay, let's say when you do your initial scan through, you read the abstract, but you find out that this paper is not really what I want for my research. Okay, so then you can stop reading it. Okay, you don't have to go for detailed reading. This is just to save your time. Sebab katakanlah satu paper tu kita ada dalam 10 page, and sometimes for us, okay, for us, because we are still new to the area, to the research area, it will take us maybe about 1 hour to read for one paper. So let's say that you ada jumpa 100 paper you download, takkan you nak baca 100 all of them, right? So what you can do is just do an initial scan, baca abstract dia, tengok objektif dia apa conclusion dia. If it is similar to you, you can keep on reading it. So it is worth to read it. Okay, kalau dia tak sama macam apa yang you nak, you just put it inside another folder ke, atau you nak delete ke. Okay, for me I just put it inside another folder lah, just in case in the future I want to go back and read the paper. Okay, so with this initial scan through, for me, for my personal experience, I reduce the time to read. For example, let's say I have 100 paper, I can reduce the time to read to scan through all of the downloaded papers by half. So it saves a lot of time. Okay. Okay, so for example, so like I said, this is my paper to prevent copyright infringement. I'll just use mine. Okay. Okay, so let's say that this is my abstract. Okay, so here, usually the abstract will begins with introduction sikit-sikit. Lepas tu dia bagi tahu apa problem dia. Okay, lepas tu you can try to see the objective. For my paper is my objective start from this paper, from this sentence. This paper proposes a graphical descriptive technique for inherent safety assessment. Okay, and then here dia ada bagi tahu sikit apa dia punya highlight. Okay, chemical and process properties, group the process route evaluated into colored regions, and then for result they use it on MMA. Okay, and then dia ada conclusion sikit dekat sini based on the results. Okay, so based on this you can decide, this paper also want to produce a method like me. Okay, but it use a graphical ni. Tapi I punya research I bukan graphical, I nak buat numerical. Okay, so you can set this paper aside and continue to another paper. Okay, so usually for abstract they have everything. They have intro, they have a little bit of sentences on a problem statement. Okay, so my problem statement is actually it is important to understand the hazards posed. Okay, different approach, and then we go for objective. Dia ada objective sikit, and usually they introduce to you apa methods yang dia guna. Contohnya kalau macam extraction, liquid extraction, dia akan beritahu dia guna liquid extraction. Okay, so dia ada results sikit. So you can actually just use this abstract for your initial scan through. Okay, so let's say when you are doing into detail reading, okay, so bila kita cakap detail reading, of course lah you kena tengok every sections. Introduction penting kalau untuk paper, sebab bila you baca journal paper dekat introduction tu biasanya dia akan cite ada similar paper. Okay, so bila dekat situ you boleh tambah lah apa lagi paper yang you nak baca. Okay, no need to go back to the sometimes this can be more beneficial sebabnya this paper can directly lead you to the papers that they are used when they are doing their research. Okay, and then you can identify aspects of the paper that is similar to you. Identify also aspect that is different to you. Like I said just now, this could be used as your research gap. Okay, so usually my students are usually confused about research gap. What is research gap? Okay, so research gap is actually when you are doing your literature review, you have read your papers. Okay, actually you need to do research gap to identify what are the things that has still not been solved yet. Okay, apa yang you rasa patut kita buat lagi tapi still tak ada orang buat lagi. Okay, so that is research gap. Okay, this research gap can also be used when you are writing your problem statement in chapter 1. Okay, this can support your problem statement. Contohnya lah macam nak cakap contohnya extraction of moringa leaves tadi kan. So you find out that extraction of moringa leaves using this method is very scarce. Okay, tak banyak. Tapi you rasa kalau kita guna method ni penting. Okay, so then that can be your motivation. Okay, on why you want to do the research. So why you rasa dia penting? Sebab you rasa this method is cost beneficial, is more accurate. Okay, so that is the motivation why you want to do your research. Okay, so that is research gap. So for your for the next one, okay, initial scan through, I'll just share with you, okay, the paper that I have. Okay, let me just. Okay, so this is just like a revision based on the example that I showed just now. Okay, so for initial scan through, what you can do is, for me, I'll first read the abstract. Okay, kita baca abstract, and then I will go until the end. Lepas tu I akan baca dia punya conclusion. Sebab biasanya dekat conclusion, the authors will put recommendations for future research. So these recommendations usually will indicate apa yang that research tak buat. So maksudnya benda tu kena buat, benda tu penting untuk dibuat, tapi as of when they are writing this paper, dia orang tak buat lagi. Okay, so that is also one of the research gap that you can use. Okay, itu macam antara tips untuk senang kerja sikit lah. So kita boleh expect, oh, for this work in the future, they recommend to add more parameter. Contohnya, I want to add more parameters in terms of equipments. Why? Sebab equipments tu, each equipments, they have their own characteristics. They have their own safety characteristics. So it is important to include it in the future research. So let's say you are doing a similar research as mine. So you can use that as your research gap and your motivation or problem statement. And you said that, according to Ahmad et al. It is important to include equipment safety consideration in inherent safety assessment because of what. So, however, the consideration has not been is not existed yet as far as to our current knowledge. So that is why this research proposed to include equipment considerations inside our safety assessment. For example lah, that is how you can write your research gap. Okay. So, okay. So then, this one is how to section your literature review. Okay, tadi kita dah ada keywords. So, bila kita dah ada keywords, kita dah cari kita punya journal paper, reports ke apa semua. Lepas tu kita dah buat initial scan, mana yang paper yang kita rasa tak kena sangat kita letak tepi. Okay, kita fokus dekat paper yang kita betul-betul rasa kena dengan kita. Okay, lepas tu kita baca paper tu in detail, find out apa yang kita nak buat. Okay, apa yang gap dia, apa orang lain dah buat, sama tak dengan kita, kalau sama, apa benda yang sama, apa benda yang tak sama. Okay. Lepas tu barulah kita boleh tulis kita punya literature review outline. Okay. So for literature review outline, okay, kalau you nampak dekat sini, slide ni, I letak segitiga. Okay, segitiga terbalik. So you should begin your literature review dengan topik yang besar dulu, a broad topic. For example, introduction. So for this introduction kan, maybe you can put on, kalau macam I punya safety, I boleh letak apa itu petrochemical industry, apa itu proses yang involve bawah petrochemical industry. Usually dia pendek je. I rasa dalam satu page pun dah okay. No need to be long. Okay, for this one. And then 2.2 dia macam kecil sikit. Okay, so for me safety, I want to focus on accidents and accident prevention pula. Okay, dalam petrochemical industry. So apa yang ada? So you discuss, you put some statistics macam tu. Lepas tu you go lagi kecil lagi. Dalam accident prevention measures ni ada mention pasal inherent safety. So you want to know more about inherent safety as accident prevention measure. Okay, so you can go smaller macam tu lah. Okay, and then you discuss, you baca, you put review papers about inherent safety as accident prevention. Lepas tu you find out that before you can prevent accident, you kena first buat evaluation dulu, assess dulu the inherent safety parameters. Okay, so now you punya scope lagi kecil. Now you are focusing on inherent safety assessment aside from focusing on the whole concept of inherent safety. Okay, and then bila you tengok inherent safety assessment, you focus on the currently available methods je. Okay, so this method can be in term of, for example, tadi yang I show you is graphical kan. So let's say for this one, you currently available graphical inherent safety assessment methods. Okay, so you review all graphical inherent safety method available semua. Lepas tu, you nak tahu pula apa parameter involved. Okay, and then based on the papers, you discuss balik apa parameter yang ada, what are the values, contohnya macam flammability, ada yang guna flashpoint, ada yang guna lower flammability limits. Okay. Lepas tu, since my topic want to focus on developing a new inherent safety assessment method, saya kena tahu apa metodologi yang saya nak guna. Okay, so then you can review apa pula metodologi yang orang lain guna untuk produce, untuk dapatkan result yang you nak. Okay, you boleh review semua. Lepas tu, you kena identify, baru you boleh identify what is your research gap. So here, this triangle ni actually means that you need to begin dengan benda yang besar, begin broadly, and then try to be specific as you go on to the end of the chapter. Okay? So, kejap okay. This is an example of the research gap. Okay? So, as you can see, right, I have these many methods here. Okay? Lepas tu, this is one of my problem statement subjective scaling. So I tengok ada tak subjective scaling. Okay, sekejap okay, ni besar sikit. Ada tak subjective scaling. Lepas tu I tengok parameters. I tengok method ni dia only guna temperature, pressure, flammability, explosiveness, toxicity. Tapi method yang ni dia guna tambah satu lagi, process inventory. This one, yang the third one, dia guna semua. Okay, so this is how you can identify the similarity and the differences between these papers. Okay, these papers, and you can also decide with your own. Okay, you boleh tengok, disebabkan diorang tak consider ni. You can say that, I want to consider this aspect and this aspect. Sebabnya orang lain tak buat lagi. And of course lah, bila you kata you nak buat, you kena backup lah dengan your own argument kenapa you nak buat. Why do you think that it is important? Okay? Before that. So, sebabnya organizer minta kita buat macam hands-on. Okay? So, based on what you know currently, okay, try to produce an outline of your literature review. Okay, so you can use this triangle as your outline. Usually we will begin with introduction and then we will end with research gap. Okay, try to write it on and then share with me your literature review outline. Okay, in the Padlet, so that nanti I akan tengok and I will help you how you can on how maybe you can improve or you can expand your literature review outline. Okay, so sekejap okay, so I think you can scan this QR code first. Okay, sekejap lagi I tunjuk balik yang segitiga tu. Okay ke? Dah scan ke? Wait let me try to tengok kalau I boleh share dekat chat this one. Mana awak chat? Okay, kejap e-resource UiTM. Nice. Tak boleh letak gambar lah. maybe the organizer can help me to share this one just in case the students wants to know the things that they can put inside for the outlines of the literature review. Okay, so nanti bila you isi, you punya outline akan keluar kat sini. So I will comment accordingly. Okay. So take some time, maybe about 10 minutes. Okay tak? 10 minutes sampai 11:21. Okay, try to do it. Tapi kalau ada yang nak tanya soalan, tanya je. Okay. I tunjuk ni. Or should I? Maybe I boleh pindahkan kat sini kot. Oh, boleh. Oh, okay. Susah pula. Tiba-tiba rasa susah pula. Okay. Sebelas 20 Okay. No worry jangan takut tulis je apa-apa. Better salah sekarang ni daripada you lose your grade nanti. Okay? Buat salah tak apa. Sebab because based on my previous experience, some students are too afraid that they got it wrong ke apa ke. Tapi don't be like that because we are currently in the learning environment, so it is okay to make mistakes. Ni sir awak dah suruh petik nama dah ni. Okay, tak apa, kita tunggu sampai 11.20 and then we try to see
Doktor,
Ya saya.
saya nak tanya, yang dekat Padlet tu yang tulis literature review tu maknanya macam kena tulis macam dekat skrip dekat slide doktor ni lah yang macam 2.1 introduction, 2.2 macam tu ke?
Betul. Tulis yang tu je. Bukanlah suruh you tulis semua literature review. Tak, tulis ni je. 2.1 apa, 2.2 apa, 2.3 apa. Macam tu je. Hebat tu you boleh tulis rasa 20 minit, 10 minit je. Dah ada orang share ke? Let me see. Oh, belum lagi. Oh, dah ada. Khalida, nice. Ni ada lagi orang tengah tulis. Sekejap saya cuba buka. Sebelah. So okay, kita dah dekat 11:21. Okay, so let's see the first one. Okay, kalau ada yang nak tengok QR code tu nanti bagi tahu Okay, so from Khalida Nora. So 2.1 introduction of soil mulching, biodegradable process in soil, FTIR method of biodegradable in soil, FTIR method by using KBR pellet in soil mulching, FTIR method by using ATR method in soil mulching, FTIR method by using ATR method in soil mulching with own sample. Okay, then this one is research gap Lepas tu ada Azimah Okay, so I'll try to comment one by one. Okay. Okay, so for Khalida ni, actually this is also dia dah bagus dah. It's just that we can reduce the sections. Okay. Okay, so the first one is you put the introduction of soil mulching. Okay. So and then you put the biodegradable process in soil. So and then the 2.3, you can just write current available ke current available methods for you punya area ni lah, you punya research area ni. Okay, so contoh dia nanti you need to letak in general dulu. Contohnya FTIR method as FTIR method for soil mulching. Okay, I'm not really sure sebab this is not my research area. So the terms tu maybe salah. The terms that I use maybe salah. Tapi you boleh buat macam ni tau. So 2.3 ni you boleh buat in general methods for methods of apa-apa biodegradable in soil ke, and then you boleh buat 2.3.1 FTIR method using KBR pellet, 2.3.2 FTIR method using ATR method. Lepas tu 2.3.3 FTIR method using ATR method. Okay, and then baru you buat research gap. Okay, so bila macam ni, so you punya section tu dia akan nampak jadi lagi kemas. Lepas tu orang akan faham lah. Oh, so this 2.3 focus on FTIR method. Okay, so that is an example that you can write lah. Tapi in the future, let's say after you dah discuss dengan supervisor you, sometimes you might need to add another section. Maybe you kena tambah 2.4 parameter consideration ke macam tu. Okay, so for today this one is good enough. This one is good. Just yang FTIR ni kita boleh lump sum dia under satu section, and then you can divide it into more subsections. Okay, supaya dia nampak jadi lagi kemas. So nanti bila examiner tengok you punya table of content kan, so dia dapat detect terus. Oh okay, 2.3 focus on FTIR discussion. Okay, so this one is good. Nice.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay. And then Azimah, oil extraction from spent coffee ground using hexane at different time. Okay, so the first one introduction, betul. Lepas tu what is SGD, definition, betul. So kalau saya akan suggest you untuk tambah apa lagi SCG ni digunakan selain daripada orang buat oil extraction. You boleh juga introduce apa lagi dia punya application. So macam in general kan. Lepas tu 3, more emphasize using hexane, advantage or disadvantages. Okay, this one is correct. So for the third section, you want to discuss on why you want to use hexane, why it is important to use hexane, right? Okay, so this one is good. Okay, and then different time, elaborate more on time gap, how hexane influence the exact time. So I think for 3 dengan 4 ni, you can lump sum it together. Okay, so maybe dia punya topik tu, nombor 3 tu dia akan jadi macam hexane usage in oil extraction, for example. Okay, and then you ada 3.1, what are the advantages or disadvantages of using hexane? And then you ada 3.2, so 3.2 ni you boleh mention untuk point yang nombor 4 ni. So sebab I tengok dekat sini, dia macam nak cakap more on process condition. Macam tu kan? So you can put 3.2 punya subsections, operating conditions of hexene usage, macam tu lah. Okay, so you boleh discuss banyak-banyak paper dekat situ. And then the next section is method can use. So this one is number 4 lah nanti Kalau jadi this one is number 4. So you can discuss every method that has been used to extract oil from SCG ni. Okay, maybe you boleh buat 2 subsection bawah nombor 5 ni. One is oil extraction method from SCG yang in general. One lagi, satu lagi subsection, the one that focus on hexane. Boleh juga. Okay. And then environmental issues involved, how SCG helps to reduce waste. Okay, this one, sekejap I tengah fikir nak letak atas ke bawah. I rasa yang nombor 6 ni, you boleh letak atas. Contohnya dekat dalam section yang nombor 2 ni. Kan you nak cakap maybe yang SCG ni, a brief introduction to SCG. So 2.1, SCG, physical properties of SCG, contohlah And then 2.2 chemical properties. Lepas tu maybe 2.3 you boleh letak nombor 6 ni. Environmental issues involve how SCG helps to reduce waste. Okay? So this ni pun macam lagi better kalau you lamsam dekat atas. Sebab kalau tak nanti dia macam tiba-tiba je dia cakap pasal how SCG helps to reduce ni. Okay? So my proposal is for you to include number 6 ni dalam number 2 ni. Okay? So this one pun overall good. Okay? Just like I said just now, ada benda yang kita boleh lamsamkan jadi subsections. Okay? So good. Azimah, good. And then we have another one. So anonymous. So the first one, introduction. Okay. Attenuated total reflective Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy. So I think this one you want to focus on the brief discussion on what is ATR, FTIR. Okay. And then the third 2.3 physical-chemical properties of soils before and after agricultural mulching process. So for this one, sekejap physical-chemical properties. Okay, I think this one can stand on its own section. Okay. Functional group indicate organic content in solids due to biodegradable mulches. For this one, sekejap I think 2.3 dengan 2.4 ni you boleh letak bawah same section indicating it for biodegradable mulches, I think, ataupun the soils in general. Tapi you ada section lain lah, satu section untuk N2.3 ni, satu subsection untuk N2.4 ni. Okay. And then 2.5 ni baru you review method of soil mulching. Okay. So I think this one is already okay. Cuma je like I said, as you go on, nanti memang akan ada benda yang you akan ubah dekat you punya literature review. Tapi this is a good start. Okay, for these 3. Okay. So ada lagi tak? Ataupun you, kalau you still in writing, okay, you can just keep on writing it, okay, and I will try to comment, okay, after this. Okay, so I think that's it. Okay, ada tunjuk research gap. So I think for conclusion for our session today, that's it for literature review. Okay, remember for today we have seen a few things, a few discussions on literature review. First of all, we need to identify what are our keywords. Okay, and then we are using those keywords into our search engine, okay, to identify what are the papers or journals, books chapter that are related to our topics. Lepas tu kita tengok macam mana kita nak baca, okay? The first initial scan through, lepas tu baru kita baca detail, okay, to save time. And then baru kita boleh buat outline, okay? But bear in mind, like I said just now, outline tu dia bukanlah definite. You can still change it, okay? Even until bila you dah submit you punya dissertation nanti pun, you still boleh change, okay, for that one. Tapi bear in mind, for literature review, I assume we are using the same rule code. For every chapter cannot be more than 20%. Okay, plagiarism, check, Turnitin. I'm not sure UiTM you guna apa. So for me, I usually use Turnitin. So make sure kalau you tengah buat literature review tu, when you are using the summary, do not copy the sentence from the journal directly. Okay, try to change the sentences so that kalau you buat plagiarism check, it should be less than 20% atau 30%. Okay, it depends on the rules by your department lah. Kalau macam for us here, our rule is it needs to be less than 30, if I'm not mistaken, 30% for the whole dissertation. Tapi kalau waktu I dekat UiTM dulu, dia tak buat for the whole dissertation, dia buat for each chapter. So each chapter plagiarism check kena less than 20%. So usually literature review punya chapter ni dia memang akan tinggi. Sometimes sampai 50 to 70%. Okay? So try to learn, please improve your writing skills. Okay? So that nanti bila you tulis tu, tak adalah plagiarism check dia sampai banyak sangat. Okay? So I think you can use Turnitin for that to check the plagiarism. Lepas tu apa lagi kalau literature review? Ada juga student pernah tanya saya, kalau literature review how many pages? Okay, so actually it doesn't work like that. Number of pages doesn't really mean anything. Okay, it all will go back to your outline. Okay, let's say that if your discussion is enough in 20 pages, so then it's enough. Okay, but if you think that you need to discuss more, okay, to prove your point, sometimes kalau macam untuk yang master PhD, you punya literature review can be from 60 pages to 100 pages. Okay, so it depends. Tapi janganlah kalau you punya literature review tu 5 page je kan, macam tak logik lah pula. Kan? So better kalau boleh, first of all, make sure that every points of your discussion has been addressed. Okay, and then you dah mention semua yang you nak mention. I usually kalau undergrads, kalau my student punya FYP dalam 20 pages jugalah. 20 pages juga literature review diorang. Okay, sebabnya kalau for undergrads and diploma, kita punya scope tak banyak kan? Kita punya scope dengan objektif tak banyak. So usually dalam 20 pages. Some students dia ada juga yang bagi lebih, tapi usually dalam lingkungan tu lah. Tapi it depends also on your supervisor sebab sometimes ada supervisor dia setkan limit pages tu. Tapi ada juga supervisor yang dia tak kisah as long as you have all of the information. Okay, but for me, my suggestion is first of all, make sure that everything is included in your literature review. Okay, lepas tu baru you tengok number of pages. Okay. Sekejap. I ada satu lagi benda yang I rasa I nak share. I'm not sure whether you know about this. Quillbot. This is a paraphrasing tool. So ingat tak tadi bila I cakap yang you boleh tukar, you kena tukar sikit ayat you. Okay, so it is understandable even for me myself when I was doing my PhD, kita punya English bukanlah macam mantap sangat. Okay, so what you can do is usually, okay, ni contoh I ambil katakanlah, let me just try with one of my papers. Okay, selalunya kan benda-benda yang sama ni yang selalu menyebabkan merenyahkan kita punya plagiarism check ni adalah introduction dengan literature review. Metodologi usually tak ada masalah. Metodologi dengan research discussion usually tak ada masalah. So, quillbot.com ni, ini free juga Ini free juga. So, you can try to paste your writing, okay, inside this. So, nanti, this software, this is online software, dia boleh paraphrase you punya ayat. Okay, so contoh dekat sini, hazard reduction and elimination play a major role in designing a user-friendly plan in order to prevent accident. So dia tukar kat sini. Designing a user-friendly plan is essential to reduce and eliminate hazards and prevent accidents. Okay, so dia ayat dia dah jadi lain. So bila you masuk dalam Turnitin ataupun plagiarism check, dia tak akan check dia sebagai benda yang sama lah sebab ayat dia dah lain. Okay, so you can use this to help you check. Okay, tapi the downside of this software is you kena baca balik sebab takut kalau bila dia ubah ayat you, dia punya maksud lari. Okay, so what I would propose, you kena baca balik. Make sure that the meaning is still the same. Okay, so this is one software lah yang I bagi dekat students untuk practice diorang punya paraphrasing. Okay, so this is Quillbot. Okay, kita ada satu lagi. So satu lagi Grammarly. I rasa yang ni famous kot, Grammarly ni. In which dia tolong you check you punya grammar. Okay, sebab contohnya kita faham kadang tu kita bukanlah bagus sangat kan kita punya English ni kan. Is, was memang berterabur lah. Okay, so you can use this. Okay, try to paste lah, katakanlah macam I just paste paper tadi kan. Okay, okay, so dia akan try to see mana yang you boleh betulkan, you kena betulkan. Contohnya macam ni kan, dia kata in order ni panjang sangat. Okay, so they want you to change it to 2. Okay, so you can change it. Okay, so macam ni sebenarnya salah, bukan evaluation on, it is actually evaluation off. Okay, so this will help you to check the basics of your grammar. Okay, so this one is the basics je. This one is also free. Okay, you can try to log in. Kalau yang ni kan, it's not just for your thesis actually for your email, for your report, kalau you nak betulkan you punya grammar pun boleh. Okay, tapi again similarly to Quillbot, you kena check sebabnya takut bila dia, sebab kita ada banyak chemical punya name. Okay, so takut nanti bila dia tukar and you just follow dia punya suggestion without doing your own editing, nanti maksud you punya ayat tu jadi salah. Okay, so that is a few things that you will need to take into considerations. Okay, so sekejap lagi tak? I think for literature review yang tu kot, yang the one that is most helpful lah, Quillbot dengan Grammarly. Okay, so and usually kan kalau macam Grammarly ni, kalau you dah habis, dah betul semua, dia akan keluar macam ni. Okay, tapi kalau you ambil, this one is kalau you ambil yang free lah. Kalau you ambil yang bayar, dia ada lagi lah extra punya suggestion kan. Tapi I rasa free pun dah okay dah. Tak payahlah sampai nak bayar. It's as long as you dah betulkan majority of your grammar punya tu, dah okay dah. Okay. Okay. Oops. So I think that's all from me. Thank you for listening. I hope that my sharing session today will be beneficial for you. Okay, so feel free to ask me any questions. I can be, kalau you tak nak tanya sekarang pun tak apa, I can be contacted through this email. Okay, syaza.ahmad@utp.edu.my ataupun usually email je lah. Okay, you can just email me. I will try to respond. Okay, just in case if you have any questions. Okay, tapi apa-apa pun, make sure that you also ask your supervisor opinion, okay? Because your supervisor is the focal person that is the expert for your research, okay? So for me, I'll just share what I know about literature review je lah, okay? So before we end, moderator, what should we do? Should we open for another Q&A sessions? Ke macam mana?
Thank you to Dr. Syaza for sharing your knowledge with us. Now we are open for Q&A session. Everyone just drop your question in the chat box or you can unmute your mic if you want to ask the question.
Okay, we have one, right? Miss Khairia. Do you want to read the question first or macam mana?
Yes, I will read out to you.
Okay.
We have a question from Amirul Iman. He says, Doctor, I have a question. Should I just paraphrase all the research tests or just certain part only?
For these questions, actually, you need to first do your plagiarism evaluation. Like I said just now, Turnitin. So let's say, let me try to find where is my plagiarism report. Okay, kejap . So bila you buat plagiarism check, contohnya dalam Turnitin, you will be given a report. Okay, so this report will tell you what is your mana yang sama dengan orang, mana yang maksudnya macam mana yang betul-betul sama dengan orang tu punya. Okay, so sekejap I tengah buka, let me share screen. I share my screen Hafizuddin. Okay, so this is my Turnitin report. So basically, saya letak saya punya actually dia dah bagi tahu you contohnya yang dia highlight ni. So this is the words that is similar to paper number 4. So let's take a look at paper number 4. So paper number 4 is salah bawah sampai ni. Okay, so paper number 4 is this one.
Doctor?
Ya?
Doctor share slide ke ni?
Screen. Saya tak share?
Tak share.
Oh Allah. Cakap seorang-seorang. Sekejap
It's okay.
Okay, nampak
Belum lagi.
Okay ke? Nampak ke?
Tak nampak lagi, Doktor.
Screen. Sekejap This one, share. Sorry lah, saya noob sikit guna Webex ni. Nampak dah ke?
Nampak, sir. Nampak, Doktor.
Okay, nice. Okay, macam saya cakap tadi, so katakanlah you dah ada kan you punya chapter 2. Okay, you masukkan dalam Turnitin. So I use Turnitin. So nanti bila dia evaluate you punya similarity dengan other people's work, dia akan bagi you satu report ni. Okay, so this report actually, okay, first of all you boleh tengok berapa percentage yang you lebih. Contohnya macam ni kan, dia ada 25% similarity index. So kalau ikut rule UiTM dulu, I kena reduce because 25% is more than allowable. Because the allowable is 20%. So what you can do is, bila dia bagi report ni kan, kalau you perasan, dia ada highlight yang colour-colour ni, okay. So this one is the sentences yang betul-betul sama dengan paper tu. Contohnya yang biru ni kan, yang first ni, nombor 4. So you boleh tengok dekat bawah, kalau nombor 4, okay, sama dengan paper ni. Paper student submitted to Middlesex University. Okay, so apa yang I boleh buat is, I need to rephrase lah this sentence ni, yang the global production of e-waste is estimated to be. So I just have to rephrase this, paraphrase this. Tak payahlah you kena paraphrase semua, because that can be pretty tedious. Okay, so kalau for me, the thing that I usually do is, kalau kat sini kan you nampak, dia bagi tahu mana satu yang the highest, okay? So you can see the top one is usually the highest, the one with the highest percentage. So I'll just find out mana dekat I punya paper ni warna merah kan tadi kan? Okay, so this one, nombor 1, merah. So maksudnya I just need to paraphrase this one. Okay, so bila I dah paraphrase, okay, katakanlah I masukkan dalam Quillboard, I check, okay, semua okay, ayat pun cantik, I test balik dalam Turnitin, okay, and then we should expect the percentage ni reduce lah, okay. So we should reduce the percentage lah at least to less than 20%. So for this one, memang tak ada, sometimes you kena buat several times. Okay, so it's good if you can have the access to the Turnitin. Okay, maybe this one you can ask your supervisor kot. Maybe dia ada access for you regarding this. Okay, hope this answer my questions, Amirul.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
So much clear now.
Okay, glad to hear that. Okay, so anything else?
I guess that's all the question for today.
Okay. So if let's say that if you have any other questions, you can just email me your question. I will try to help you on that. Okay. So before that, thank you for the organizers. Thank you to Sir Firdaus for inviting me. So I'm quite glad that I can share some of my experience and knowledge with all of you. Hopefully it will be beneficial for your FYP. And all the best for your FYP.
I would like to again extend my gratitude to Dr. Syaza Izyanni for being here with us today. I would also like to apologize. On behalf of the team for any mistake that we have done during the course of registration and the program. Friendly reminder, a link for attendance will be given at the end of the program. Please be alert. Thank you. Last but not least, we will have a small photography session with our speaker. Thus, all participants are reminded not to leave the meeting before the photography session ends. I will now hand the session over to the Creative Media Department for the photography session.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Everybody will be given 2 minutes to prepare yourself.
Everyone, please open your camera.
Okay, one.
Okay, everybody, please turn on your camera. Ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Ready? Smile. 1, 2, 3. Freestyle. Ready? Let's this program back to our MC. Thank you.
Thank you, Doktor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doktor.
Dr. Syaza.
Thank you, Doktor. Doktor.
Thank you, Doktor.
That concludes the end of our program for today. Again, I thank all of you for becoming part of our program. Participants are reminded to fill in the attendance form and the Google form following the completion of today's program. That's all for now. Till we meet again at the next program.
Syaza, tak ada kelas ke?
Tak ada.
Tak ada.
Kelas hari Isnin dengan Selasa. So hari Khamis ni you guys invite ni macam okay, tak ada kelas, boleh lah.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih sebab guide from zero to hero, insyaAllah. Mungkin akan
Takut tak
membantu
cukup je.
diorang.
Okay lah.
Membantu, insyaAllah. InsyaAllah boleh.
Thank you
Banyak.
Fidaus invite.
Terima kasih. Tak apa. Terima kasih lah join. Terima kasih sudi bantu student kita orang.
No problem. Happy to help.
Okay, apa-apa jadi PM to P
Okay.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
terima
Thank you
kasih.
organizer.
Assalamualaikum, Syaza. Thank you
Waalaikumsalam.
everyone.
Thank you, Dr.
everyone.
Syaza.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Dr.
All the
Syaza.
best.